Hello, YouTube. This is Never Sleep Again TV. I'm Kurious Cyclopes.
And I'm Steve.
And today we are going to discuss the current state of horror. Oh, God. You guys don't even know. We've been waiting to open these for like 20 fucking minutes until we're ready. And we really want to drink this, so...
Oh, it's so good.
By the way, apparently this is our official drink. So Mountain Dew, you don't fucking sue us for having this in here. But what you do is you sponsor us for the free promotion. So
or just keep it on the goddamn shelf for a change.
Or just keep it on the fucking shelf, goddammit. So mind me as I take my sip.
Enjoy, man.
Oh my god, seriously.
It's so worth it.
God, every time I drink it, it's always better than I think it's gonna taste. Like, I'm not even kidding. Okay.
Back into it.
Alright. Current state of horror. Well, me and Steve, you were born in 91.
Right.
You were born on February 18th, right?
Yeah.
February 18th, 1991. I'm February 28th, 1991. So, growing up, I obviously started with the older horror films. So when I did see shit that was current to our generation, I wasn't feeling it. Because you got to admit, there was a lot of garbage that came out in that time. But in the past few years, I truly believe that horror, out of nowhere, for some reason, it's almost like a renaissance. Like it's coming back out with original shit.
Sure.
And just to mention like a few movies that kind of inspired me. Like, wow, horror's coming back. I gotta say, the first one might have been Insidious, and another franchise is The Conjuring. So far, I've been loving what they're doing, but we actually do have movies on hand that that fit the current state of the horror. So, Steve, let's start off with you.
All right. Well, this one's kind of obvious. Super recent. We're going with Get Out.
Get Out.
I think Get Out is, first and foremost, it's a good sign of kind of the way horror is going these days, where I think we're in a phase where you kind of just throw everything you can at the wall and see what sticks. Like, it's such a budgeted genre to make that you make a movie like Get Out for I think it was like $4 million that they made it for.
That's fucking incredible. I had no idea.
And then
that
if
is
it
impressive.
Blows up the way that this has, like, then you're talking about, as soon as you make $4 million back, everything else is profit.
And obviously, they seem to have made a successful gem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've heard great things all over the board. And the thing is, they brought non-horror fans to the theater because of, obviously, the social commentary on today's issue.
Well, that's what Jordan Peele has been calling it, a social thriller, and I think that's like a perfect way to describe it.
You know what? That is a great new subgenre. It truly is.
Yep.
I could see more following in this stuff.
And speaking of Jordan Peele, I mean, we talked about Danny McBride coming from comedy into the Halloween franchise. Who'd have thought that the guy from fucking Mad TV and Key and Peele was just going to jump right into horror and do so well?
And I'm just learning this now because, again, I'm very bad with names. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. So, comedians are stepping out into the horror lane. Hey, if they did a good job like Get Out, then
yeah, man. If we can keep
these comedians
movies
coming
like that, because Get Out was fucking fantastic.
Wow. And did you first see this in the theater?
I didn't. I was unfortunate enough to have to wait until it came out on Blu-ray, but I had wanted to. There was just so many things out at the time, and I just never had time for it.
I did see this in theaters, and I pretty much rushed to go see it because I kept hearing about it. And to me, it was a 4D experience. Do you know why? The fourth wall was broken audience. Unfortunately, not too far after the movie started, I heard a racist comment behind me. And unfortunately, I had, some African American people sitting in front of me. And why God damn it, we're in a movie that's combating racism,
right.
And I heard a fucking racist remark right behind me, and of course the girl was trying to shush her boyfriend, like shut up, you're embarrassing me. And don't fucking do that shit at the movies. Don't be a fucking racist. Don't do homophobic slurs. We're trying to enjoy ourselves, you fucking asshole. I almost wanted to get the fuck up and beat the shit out of that guy.
Plus, what did you do? Like, did you just go to the fucking movie theater, cover your eyes, and like point at one of the movies? Like, have you not seen the trailer? Why would you go see a movie like that if you're a racist? Like,
Here's a little spoiler. It's not important, but it's in Get Out because I really want to tell you what happened. There's a part in the beginning where the guy and his girlfriend are driving down the road. They hit a deer. Pretty much the guy goes to check on the deer to see what's up. The girl behind me, she goes, "But what's he doing? Like, what's he gonna do to the deer?" And then her boyfriend goes, "Oh, he's gonna need to break its neck, but that's a white man's job." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Apparently, only pale-skinned people are capable of putting an animal out of their misery." Like, dude, get the fuck out of the theater. Like I said, I really had to restrain myself because I wanted to watch the movie, but I really hope that not too many people heard that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You're ruining the fucking theater for people. But anyway, yeah, Get Out. I fucking loved it. If anything, it was the first movie that was horror that touched upon racism since The People Under the Stairs, in my opinion. In fact, me and my friend even came up with our own fan fiction of a crossover called Get Out from Under the Stairs.
Nice.
And I'm not going to get into that because we'll save that for our fan fiction series. But Get Out, I loved it. Great social commentary. Yeah. You like it,
absolutely.
obviously.
I'd recommend it to anyone, and even non-horror fans. Watch it.
I agree. So yeah, for the current state of horror, very good movie.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to move on to a movie. What really got me back into the theater? Cabin in the Woods, and I'm sure a lot of you saw that on Netflix because it was up on the Watch Now.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods. Pretty much, me and my girlfriend at the time just, we would get stoned and just go to movies or whatever. I didn't know what Cabin in the Woods was. I thought it was going to be a real shitty horror film. I didn't care. I just wanted to, numb my mind with some gore. So, turns out you think it's a zombie film, and it's totally not. So, Cabin in the Woods, it blew my fucking mind. I love monsters in general, and you get plenty of creatures in this movie. And not only that, the fucking story, the plot, everything's so original. If you don't want me to get too spoilerly, it's essentially an Illuminati that controls the world with classic monsters that we grew up with. That's all I can really say. Cabin in the Woods blew my mind. I'm lucky enough to have the cool lenticular motion cover because I always got to get the special slip covers. So Cabin in the Woods, I fucking loved it. I hope there's a sequel, which I'm going to get a lot of backlash for because the ending was perfect.
Yeah.
Come on, show us the Titan. Why not? What did you think about Cabin in the Woods?
I loved it, dude. I mean, at first I was like, okay, Joss Whedon's moving into horror. That's interesting. Not that he hadn't dabbled on television and stuff before, but I love any movie that can take something that looks like it's going to be one thing. Like, it looks like it's like an Evil Dead type, like a bunch of people out in the woods in a cabin, and then shit goes wrong. Yeah, and then
wrong.
If you can turn that shit completely upside down on its head and be like, no, you have no fucking idea what's going on right now. I love it. Like,
they took me by surprise.
Absolutely.
In fact, I was almost shocked when I first saw it. So, I've always recommended that to everyone for modern horror.
Oh, for sure.
So, another great current horror film. All right, Steve, on to the next one.
Okay. Right back into another movie. What I was saying before, the next movie is Clown. At first, I saw this movie, I'm like, no fucking way. Like, Eli Roth put his name on it.
That's what exactly I
thought. Nothing against Eli Roth, but he's not necessarily like the Spielberg of horror or anything. His name's not the mark of approval. Mm-hmm. But eventually, and then they did that fucking thing where they were like, this movie's banned in America and shit, which is like just a selling point. Yeah, they couldn't find distribution and shit. They're like, nobody wants to put it out. Like, wow. Which I feel like Eli Roth specifically does that to boost his movies now. Like, the same thing happened with Green Inferno.
And also a recent movie that came out, I forgot the name at the moment, but yeah, a lot of people are going back to that old retro, oh, dude, you're going to faint when you see this movie.
Right, yeah.
You know what? Please don't do that in your previews because it's automatically going to set my expectations low.
So much lower.
Very low.
But anyway, once I got through all that and finally checked it out, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
I watched this with some friends into horror. Obviously excited for a new horror clown movie.
Right.
You know what? I did see Stitches. I did see Clown around the same time. Clown takes the cake by far. Stitches, I gotta rewatch it because I just wasn't in the mood for it. But Clown, this is truly a horror film. You know what? When it comes to comedy, it's a little lighthearted in the beginning. Dude, it gets fucking dark.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a comedy film. It's truly horror. And Eli Roth, it has to be one of his best.
I mean,
I definitely recommend Clown.
what a cool idea that like the clown suit itself is the skin of a demon.
It is the creature,
yeah.
essentially.
So cool. The weirdest fucking thing about this movie, dude, is that John Watts, the guy who directed it, he's doing Spider-Man Homecoming now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a
well.
real weird move, but
All right, well, that's what we think about Clown.
yeah.
For another current state of horror, what would he know? Horror coming to TV. You know what? I love Evil Dead, the whole trilogy. I was really sad when Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash never happened, even though it did turn into a comic.
Yep.
Well, guess what? Prayers were answered. Kind of got a sequel to Army of Darkness. At least the first episode's definitely a sequel in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Wow, another cool cover. Good job,
Yeah.
Steve. Ash vs. the Evil Dead. God, I fucking love it. I'm so glad Ash is back. The Deadites are back. You know what? Go fucking watch it.
Oh,
All I gotta
yeah.
say is practical effects, classic Ash. It's just fucking good.
You couldn't ask for anything more.
Exactly.
If you're a fan of any of the Evil Dead films, like, you're gonna love the show.
And yeah, and that's pretty much all entry-level horror fans are Evil Dead films. So if you haven't, you will not be wasting your time on Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yep.
Please go watch it. I still have to see the second season. All right, so definitely recommend that, and I'm glad it's happening, and I'm looking forward to more TV series that are horror, because that's something I'm not too familiar with. But all right, so we got one last movie we're going to discuss. Steve, what we have
All right,
here?
this one's kind of my guilty pleasure, I guess. We got Grave Encounters.
Give it a little,
Throw it
little
down there.
tilt. Yeah,
There
baby.
it is.
There's the cover.
All right, so these days, I'm sure everybody knows that every fucking cheapo horror movie that comes out is found footage. It's the cheapest, easiest way to make a horror
I'm
movie.
a little mean when it comes to found footage.
Everybody's getting a little tired of it, so
Yeah.
it's fair. But Grave Encounters, I believe I saw it on Netflix for the first time. I was just looking for something
heard
random
of
to
it,
watch.
So
And I was like, oh, it's a found footage horror movie, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, man, as soon as I watched that movie, I was fucking blown away. It is probably my favorite found footage movie of all time.
you know what? He knows I hate found footage, but obviously I respect your opinion, so I will be watching Grave Encounters sometime soon.
I think it almost
I hope
has,
I like it.
It's almost like had a Cabin in the Woods sort of feel. Like, you watch it and it's a very basic story. It's like, oh, the guys who are doing like a ghost hunters type show and blah, blah, blah. And then the crazy shit that starts happening in this asylum that they're in and stuff is just completely unexpected. I think that's what makes the movie.
Well, I definitely will be giving it a shot.
It's worth a watch.
So, to sum it all up, horror, yeah, it had its rough patches while we were growing up. But I honestly believe that in the later half of the 2000s, some good shit is coming out of nowhere. It's a horror renaissance. I really don't know where these writers are coming from, but I'm very, very happy about it. Keep the horror films coming, because I am now going to be very optimistic about everything new.
Yeah. And if anybody out there has any good, like, diamonds in the rough for us, like, suggest some current horror movies.
Yes. Like I said, I'm very critical about modern horror films. So if I do watch a horror film, my last pick is going to be something recent. So please, prove me wrong.
Right, let's wake him up a little
Show
bit.
me, wake me up, because he's very for modern films that are horror. I'm a little bitch about it. So
You just got to find the
prove me
good
wrong.
ones.
Show me the good modern horror films, because obviously I try and I get the fucking garbage. Especially when people recommend it and I hate it. It pisses me off. So horror fans, I only want to hear your thoughts. Show us the good horror.
Yep.
And I guess that's going to be it.
Yeah, that's all.
Never Sleep Again TV is out. As always, thank you for watching. Stay
again.
tuned, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.